This demonstration here of the objects vibrating was caused actually by self-resonation of what they call ferromagnetic and piezo electric and ferromagnetic barium titanate. And this was used in the Army for levitation experiments. And this particular experiment here is showing a crude form of levitation that causes heavy objects with 7 pounds here to move around on a piece of aluminum plate through self-resonance, which is many bands and frequencies that I was causing. And other objects tend to move around, but only on translational movements. Basically, I'm doing a self-resonation system and adding onto it different carriers through the top amplifier, and tuning in, broadening the frequencies, the pulse rate, and that causing it to react in different shapes. It's almost controllable translational movements. There's really no difference on the surrounding materials from the main cylinder. It can be plastic, steel, or very heavy objects will tend to slide around a bit. And yet, if you suspend a ring above the barium cylinder, you notice that the ring is held by some type of invisible force. So the applications of this in advanced applications using free energy or zero-point energy to power it would be in propulsion technologies. And that would be applicable to the forces that this type of material puts out. The objects you're seeing moving there is a form of levitation by translational movement, meaning that the objects become lighter and can float around. The heaviest being the barium cylinder that you see there, with the 2 wires coming out of it, tends to slide around on 7 pounds of its own weight. So that's basically what you're seeing. The physics of it is self-resonation through a power amplifier and broad and narrow bands of electrical energy going into this crystal. The long-term applications could be used in space propulsion and perhaps in medical research and metallurgical research. Well, microphones actually are made out of the same material as a large cylinder of barium titanate, and there's a self-resonation effect taking place there. That goes through the amplifiers, and then I broaden and narrow the bandwidths and add pulses in that to create the effects you just seen. The UFOs are just other forms of life from space. Some advanced races, perhaps 15, I'd say roughly maybe 15 light years out, then population starts to increase of different races, from very low types of races to races that have excelled in propulsion and time and space and energy. And perhaps they come and monitor our old-style radio signals and start laughing. Perhaps not. Maybe their culture is so entirely different that they're just thinking about it and trying to help. So there is a connection. This Earth is only an island, really, when you look at it on a logical level, on a cosmological level, amongst a sea of billions of stars, hundreds of thousands of galaxies. And I'm sure they've mastered time and space and interdimensional physics, getting past from one dimension to another dimension very quickly. Bold space, come and say hi here. So they mastered all those problems long ago, I feel. I actually had my own encounters with UFOs. And I was not scared. I was very relaxed, actually. Almost like a matter-of-fact situation. Nothing really shakes me too much, really. Nothing really shakes me too much, no. I've seen metal turn and twist, and so what? It's interesting and enjoyable, but I don't jump up and down and pull. I've actually had men, business people, not so much scientists, but business people go totally mad on me. Or I had to literally kick them out of my laboratory. And these are men from such companies as IBM. What fascinates me is sometimes the greed of the businessman and his money. I've encountered it a few times and tend to brush these people off extremely fast because they're very friendly at first, and then all of a sudden they want something in a nutshell within a week. And I find it actually quite disgusting, because normally it takes a good month, and you need to put your energy into it, and they're too skimpy to get parts, let's say. I've always worked on my own and let the businessmen sweat it out, in a sense, and pull their hair out by the roots, because I always have done my research on my own, and when I'm ready, I just present it to the news media or to anybody who's interested.
If you were fascinated by the amazing technologies and concepts you've just witnessed, now you can get even more valuable information and details from the New Energy series. 5 full-length videos, 9 hours of in-depth conversations and demonstrations of free energy systems. Explore the worlds of inventors and theoretical physicists who are changing the paradigms of science. Volume 1 features Tom Bearden.
In particle physics, any electrical charge is automatically a broken symmetry. Now, what this means is there is a virtual photon flux, a violent flux exchange between the vacuum itself, which is filled with this virtual photon flux.
Volume 2, John Hutchison.
I feel that is also true. I think the mind can act as also a cohere of frequencies and transmit them out, and then unlock this doorway into space and time.
This motor here drew 12.5 amps.
Volume 3, Joseph Newman.
This motor right here only draws 7.5 amps. And look at the size of the propeller. Look at the size of the propeller. Look at the size of the motor. Look at the size of the motor. Now, this is exactly what I teach throughout my book. I taught it to Dr. Hastings. I've taught it to the world, that the larger you make the mass, then the smaller amount of power it will take and the more power it will produce.
Volume 4 highlights Troy Reed.
This is an old mechanical device. It's got 2 inner wheels on the inside and 2 outer shell wheels with magnets. They got 8 magnets on this side, 8 magnets on the inside here.
Let's see what kind of torque we got at 75 psi.
And Volume 5, Dennis Lee.
Okay, here it goes. Maxed it out. So it went all the way off the end of this thing, 150 foot-pounds of torque. This engine.
They're just $29.95 for each tape.
Now the process
or get all
here,
5 for $119.95, a savings of $30. Place your order today. Call 1-800-795-TAPE. T-A-P-E. Please add shipping and handling with all orders. For orders outside the continental United States, please email Lightworks for a quote on shipping and handling cost. Our email address is lightworksav.com. That's lightworksav.com, as in Lightworks Audio and Video.